All right, how's everyone doing? I am Rich CELENZA. Thanks for checking out the Rich CELENZA show. So, this is basically for the guys out there. And if you know anything about me, I try to help men meet the woman or women of their dreams, even if they've been through a bad breakup or divorce. And I have a program out actually called Mastering Self-Confidence. And what I want to talk about today is trying to help guys when it comes to meeting women. And I have all these different types of approach. They're not pickup artist type things. But I do think a lot of men make a mistake when meeting women. One of them is I think they put on a performance. And I see this still, at my age in my 50s. And I've seen this throughout my entire life, being in the bar, nightclub industry, also being around even people, religious people, being around a lot of people involved with fitness, the entertainment industry as well. I was making films, or just at work in general. I don't care if I'm going to seminars or whatever the case may be. I think this also includes women to men, but I think a lot of times we're putting on a performance, and it's not who they are, especially if they're interested in this person. They start behaving in a way they don't always behave. I think a lot of times they get nervous. They may get desperate. They may get scared. And it's not easy, and I get for men, to go up to somebody. Online, I think it's different, I should say. Online, I think there's a little more freedom, or texting, obviously, and things in that nature. But if you see somebody out that you're interested in, or at least just want to talk to, or if somebody even introduces you to them, right, you start kind of putting on a performance. I've seen this throughout my life, especially even with my friends. Regardless if they drink or not. If they've been drinking, hang on to your bootstraps, because now the performance really begins. And I think the quicker men realize that the more comfortable they become in their own skin, the better off they're going to be. Now, I understand, too, you're not going to talk to a woman or a lady you're interested in like you talk to your buddies at a bar, or you're talking to your parents, or talking to a sibling, or anything else. We all talk to different people in different ways, for the most part. At least I believe that. I can assure you the way I talk to my father is not the same way I talk to my mother, for instance. And the same way I talk to my girlfriend is not the same way I talk to my, whoever it is, my close friends. We all have, I think, especially a lot of dudes, we do have locker room talk. And we talk aggressive, or we say things that are funny and appropriate when we're together, and say things that we wouldn't necessarily say in front of other people. We also text each other inappropriate things I think people don't want to talk about, even Messenger and all this shit. But back to if you're a man meeting a woman, I get you're going to be a little off your game, because there's a lot of nerves involved in there. But say you're not even nervous. I'm here to tell you, just learn how to communicate. Have a conversation. I did a previous podcast on this as well. Something similar, not exactly. But it's really about men not always being obsessed, thinking about women, and then especially when they're talking to the woman or woman, freaking out about it. Like, just thinking, what should I say? What should I do? Should I ask her for a number? I don't know. What am I doing here? Is she interested in me? All these things are running through your head. She's going to reject me, even if she gives me a number. Is it the wrong number? Is this girl a gold digger? Is she a liar? What is she? Is she a stray? Gay? Is she a whore? All these things a lot of men don't talk about. And a lot of it comes down to I think, rejection. So a lot of men have been previously rejected, asking women out, been ghosted or dumped. So there's sometimes also, even in having a discussion, kind of looking for the problem, or they're what I call, too, falling in love. They're getting under a spell. A lot of times men, when meeting women, especially the ones they like, and they're getting some attention from that person. I teach that in my Mastering Self-Confidence program. There's a difference between, I think, falling into a spell and falling into love. Because a lot of times, a lot of men, they truly like who likes them, really, they kind of just can't handle the situation, or they get shocked that, say, a woman is giving them attention out of nowhere. You could be somewhere, and they're just talking to you, they're like, wait a minute, is this girl into me? I can't believe this, and you kind of just don't know how to just flow with things. And then maybe she just wants to be your friend, which is wonderful. You should take advantage and become friends maybe with her if she's cool. I mean, what's wrong with that? And then maybe, even if she's not for you, again, incorporating that into meeting other women. But a lot of guys aren't thinking that way. A lot of guys are thinking, wait a minute, is this girl into me? You think, will she have sex with me? Will she go out with me? Whatever the hell you're thinking. But a lot of men think that way. And I get it. And I think a lot of women think that way too. Let's call it for what it is. You're kind of both judging each other. And you're kind of what I call interrogating each other. It could be fun interrogation or it could be serious. But in this case, let's just say you're having a nice conversation. You just got to relax. I'm telling you right now. I think, when men, that performance aspect does not have to be there. And there's a famous saying, we're all performers. And, what do they say? We're all performers. And, God, how did that saying go? Sometimes my mind, and the earth is our stage, or, whatever the case may be, something like that. We are all performing to a certain degree. We're programmed, and now we all act the way we act. A lot of it has to do with how we were programmed and what we learned and what we gravitated towards and what we didn't. We are performing. So when you're talking to a woman, I'm not saying you're not performing entirely, because we are all performing. We're human beings. We're performing. But what I am saying is performing maybe in something that you're not, or acting like something you're not. Also lying, or also becoming too corny, too friendly, too jokey joke, or too serious. Now you may be like, Rich, how the hell do I figure out all this shit? Here's the deal. And a lot of times people are like, don't be yourself, or you only can be yourself. All these things. Just sit back and become comfortable in the situation you're in. And don't get caught up with all the back bullshit. Just think about the conversation you're having and making sure it's interesting. And kind of touching upon things that you want to touch upon in this conversation. It doesn't have to go 100 miles per hour. It could be very simple as even talking about, it could be something way off base. It could be you just met this girl and you're talking about restaurants. Or you could be talking about Europe. You may be even talking about her shoes, her hair, or something, or even what you're doing or the location that you're in. Not going and getting super duper corny is what I should say, or super serious, or kind of really, when you look at talking to a woman or anybody, just, being in the moment and understanding all this is a conversation. That's all this is. At the end of the day, that's all you're having is two people talking to one another. You don't have to do anything, really, but have the conversation. And I don't think a lot of men, especially younger men, understand that, because I don't think they're in a lot of situations where they're talking to women that they're interested in a lot of times. A lot of them may have gone to high school, and of course they've talked here and there to women or whatever, and partying or whatever, and maybe went to college and then kind of at work. But I do see a lot of guys that have no problem when it comes to talking about work, at work, I should say, with their colleagues that are females, no problem. But then when I see them out in public, then again, at restaurants, it could be seminars or anywhere, they all of a sudden become a pitchy, sales, corny, adorkable guy. I call it adorkable. It's not adorable, like you're a dork. And I think it's just like, chill the hell out. This isn't you. So if you're first meeting somebody you like and you're really not who you are, how does that work out? And I think the same happens a lot of times with women. I've met a lot of women, and a lot of times, like, who they were when I first met them, and then you learn more about them in a month, they're like two different people. Now, I don't expect her or me to know her entirely, but it's funny how I just started to realize how different she really was, that it was kind of more, again, of a performance in front of me when first meeting me, and then when you kind of know me, then you're an entirely different person. And I think that happens with a lot of men as well. You may be portraying yourself as either really super friendly when you may not be. You're actually more maybe tougher. Or you're acting like a tough guy when you're kind of a softie. Or you're acting dorky and you're really not that dorky. Or you're trying to act super cool and you're not that cool. Whatever, you get the point. So I just thought I would do a podcast on this. But please, don't get caught up in the performance. I'm just telling you, you don't have to do that shit. The more you're comfortable with who you are and in that discussion, the more it's going to flow. What kills a lot of conversations with women is they sense it immediately. They can sense the doucheness coming out of you, or the you're getting rattled, or you just, here's the deal too. If you're not, after talking to a woman a lot of times, I think a lot of men don't know how to close. And I don't mean close in this case like trying to get their number or their social media stuff and saying, hey, I'd like to meet you afterwards. A lot of times if you're yourself and you're not performing, you're just talking to a girl, just learning how to leave the conversation nonchalantly without having to ask for a phone number or any of those things. Just kind of learning how just to end it and not always feel the pressure that maybe, I should ask her out or I shouldn't, or whatever all those things are. See how things flow naturally. I'm going to wrap it up there. You got any questions or comments, hit me up. I'm at masteringselfconfidence.com. I'm also at richcelenza.com. Take care.